Good evening, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated Journato evening headlines on March 23, 2022. NATO needs permanent force in Eastern Europe to deter Russia, says Estonia. The Guardian, what is NATO's presence in European countries bordering Russia? ITV News, on NATO's vulnerable eastern edge, Baltic nations face high stakes in Ukraine crisis. COVID crisis not over as hospitalizations to rise for 2 weeks, warns Chris Whitty. Supreme Court, live. Ketanji Brown Jackson cites brother's police service as she denies being soft on crime. The Independent, live. Senate Judiciary hearing on Ketanji Brown Jackson. Reuters, Ketanji Brown Jackson says Roe v. Wade the settled law of the Supreme Court, as it happened. The Guardian, court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson hits back at her Republican critics. The Times, Marsha Blackburn refuses to apologize for asking Ketanji Brown Jackson to define a woman. Ex-GOP candidate doubles down on criticism of Zelenskyy's T-shirt. The Independent, Ukraine needs a Marshall Plan, German finance minister says. Reuters, Zelenskyy's very smart speeches channel Aristotle and harness the power of truth. iNews, how Ukrainian President Zelenskyy's simple green T-shirt became an iconic message of defiance. The Independent, Ukraine war latest, Russia could use chemical weapons with Putin's back against wall. Anne Frank, Dutch publisher recalls book on diarist's betrayal after critical report. Putin spokesman says Russia won't rule out nuclear weapons use. The Independent, Ukraine morning briefing, 5 developments as Kremlin warns it could use nuclear weapons if facing existential threat. The Telegraph, Russia does not rule out use of nuclear weapons, Kremlin says. Manchester Evening News, Ukraine morning briefing, Russia refuses to rule out use of nuclear weapons. Cornwall Live, Kyiv attacks Russian state TV hosts calling for nuclear strikes on Ukraine. Alina Kabaeva, Switzerland urged to deport Putin's rumored lover. The Independent, Swiss petition to kick Putin's rumored lover out of the country hits 63,000 signatures. Daily Mail, Swiss told to expel Vladimir Putin's mistress from her luxury mountain bolt hole. Daily Record, calls to expel Putin's mistress and her 3 illegitimate kids from Switzerland. Putin's lover could hold key to ending war, friends beg mystery woman to intervene. Taliban close girls' secondary schools in Afghanistan days after announcing they would reopen. Sky News, is it a crime to study? Outcry as Taliban bar girls from secondary schools. The Guardian, Taliban reverse decision to reopen Afghanistan schools for girls, BBC News. BBC News, Taliban reverses decision to allow girls to attend secondary school in Afghanistan. Financial Times, girls left in tears after Taliban says schools cannot reopen because of dispute over uniforms. 100,000 civilians trapped in Mariupol amid Russia's constant bombing, says Zelensky. The Guardian, Zelensky claims humanitarian convoy captured by Russian troops. Evening Standard, Russia-Ukraine war, what we know on day 28 of the invasion. The Guardian, Russian forces capture Mariupol rescue workers and bus drivers, Ukraine says. ITV News, Ukraine war, Russian forces at Chernobyl preparing fresh attacks, claims Zelensky, as Moscow warns peacekeeping mission may lead to direct clash with NATO. Biden heads to Europe with more sanctions for Russia. China plane crash, one of 2 black boxes from China Eastern plane has been found severely damaged. Sky News, rain halts search operation for survivors in China plane crash. The Independent, China Eastern Airlines crash, recovery crews find black box recorder. The Guardian, explainer, how black boxes of crashed Chinese jet will be handled. Reuters, China plane crash, severely damaged, black box from Boeing 737 found in Guangxi. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.